I'm going to play a clip from the show the other day. It's on the longer side, well over 2 minutes. And then afterwards, I'm going to elaborate on it. So here's the clip. Enjoy that now. Nebraska lost to Illinois 30-22 during college football week 0, their opening game of the season. And Nebraska football just does not appear to be making any kind of progress as a program. And it's a big problem. This is year 4 at Nebraska for their head coach, Scott Frost. And unfortunately, he is now 12-21 as a head coach at Nebraska, which is just a pitiful, awful record for this is your 4th year in college football coaching that team. And remember, this is the same Scott Frost who went 13-0 coaching at Central Florida in 2017. I loved him back in the day because he went undefeated, went 13-0. His team played in the Peach Bowl. They were massive underdogs, and they beat Auburn in their bowl game. And not only did they beat Auburn, Scott Frost stayed with the team, usually because he got hired by Nebraska before the year was over, before the bowl game happened. And usually when that happens, the coach will leave and say, hey, I'm sorry, I'm not coaching the bowl game. I got a new job. I got to go attend to my new job. And instead of doing that, Scott Frost stayed with Central Florida for their bowl game, beat Auburn, then went to Nebraska. And I always thought that was very classy. Like, don't bail on your players, especially you're 12-0, going to be going on 13-0. You have unfinished business. You can't leave before that happens. And so I always loved that about Scott Frost. And then he went to Nebraska. And since 2017, Scott Frost has not had a winning season. He's had all kinds of bad news about him with transfers, and Christian McCaffrey's little brother left the program, and there was a lot of bad blood there. And it's sad. And what's crazy even more is that when Scott Frost took the job at Nebraska and went to Nebraska, it was like going home for him because he was the starting quarterback in 1997 when he led Nebraska to a national title. So he was beloved. He's like the beloved son coming home. And it didn't work out. It's very, very sad. It seems like the dude is likely to be fired now. And it makes me wonder, like, what happened? Like, how did he succeed at Central Florida? Because watching Nebraska football now, his team lacks discipline. His team lacks detail. It's crazy to me. Like, how is this guy a good? Like, is he a terrible coach? Is he a bad recruiter? Like, what's going on? It seems like Scott Frost getting fired at Nebraska is basically inevitable now. And that's very sad because, again, this was a guy going home to a place where he was loved and wanted. And it seems like he just has failed really, really miserably at Nebraska. So I did some more research, and I found a couple things that are alarming, in my opinion. Number one, apparently Scott Frost and Nebraska are being investigated by the NCAA for possible violations. Now, those violations include improper use of consultants and analysts during games and practices. Also, apparently, they moved their off-season workouts to an undisclosed location last year. And that was when workouts were shut down during COVID. So now, on top of that, number two, according to 24/7 Sports reporter Brandon Marcello, 54 players have transferred out of Nebraska. 54. Is that a typo? I found the number 24 out there. I don't know that 54 is accurate. I could only find that information on Brandon Marcello's Twitter. But shout out to him. Seems like he does good work. I am one to trust that, but I want to give it a caveat because I couldn't find that number anywhere else other than on his Twitter page. So take it with a grain of salt if you want. But still, 24, 54, either way, that's a massive red flag. And 54 is like such an unbelievable number if that is true. And then number three, Scott Frost has the worst record. This is absolutely true. He has the worst record as a Nebraska head coach since 1961. That's insanely bad. Oh, my goodness. And then to add more fuel to the fire, this is how bad things are going for Scott Frost. Nebraska football has this crazy long streak. I didn't know about it. Apparently, the streak goes all the way back to 1962, where they sell out home football games every single game, and they've done so for 40, 50 years, right? It's been a crazy long amount of time. That's 60 years roughly, right? That's like 59 years in a row. They've sold out their home stadium from 1962 to 2021. And apparently the streak was going to end. People were not excited. They weren't going to their next game. And some big donors swooped in. They bought all the remaining tickets for their upcoming game. And they're donating the tickets to kids, which is great. I love that. Good for the kids. I don't think anybody gets hurt by this story. But what it does show is that there's some real frustration in Nebraska. Nebraska fans don't care about their home streak. They would rather not go to a game for a team they don't support than allow their streak to continue. It's just interesting to me. Like, this is a symptom and an example of how bad things have gone in Nebraska. I don't hate Scott Frost, nothing like that. In fact, I actually feel bad when I see any coach get fired or lose their job. That's a failed dream right in front of us. Nebraska is where Scott Frost played his college football. It's home for him, it seems like. And so watching a guy fail is sad and hard to watch. But unfortunately for Scott Frost, him getting fired seems like only a matter of time. And the question is when rather than if.